I'm going to keep scratching you. Stop looking at me in that tone of voice. Hi, friends. Welcome to episode 107. Yes, 107 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha, and you can find me anywhere online as the Dear Tani. This little sleepy snuggle pup right here is Tootie. If you're a new viewer and you have not met Miss Tootie, she is the queen of everything from the doorknobs down. Yeah. And she is one of my two little dogs. The other is Kiva, which you may see at some point this episode, but probably not. Anyway, if you are a new viewer, welcome, and thanks for coming to hang out with me today. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. You already know the whole, just look. I cannot with these dogs. I cannot. But anyway, so welcome everybody. Thanks for coming to spend some time with me today. I really appreciate it. I'm coming to you today from my home in Central Florida. And today is Monday, January 20th. Let's get into the craftiness. Can I have my hands? Can I have this hand back? Thanks. She's just laying here like this. You gonna come back and rub my belly now? You gonna rub my throat? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So we do have a little bit of admin. Let me grab the notes. So, last episode, I let you guys know that we have a giveaway going for the Hope Shawl pattern by Snickerdoodle Knits. There is a thread in our Ravelry group, and in the down bar, there's a link to the Ravelry group. So if you would like to enter for the chance to win a copy of that shawl pattern, you can enter it in that thread. The prompt over there is, what is your word of the year? Or what is a word that you're keeping before yourself in this year, like for motivation or whatever, like that thing that you want to focus on this year. Share your word with us. The thread is going to stay live until January 30th, and then once I close the thread on January 30th, I'll do a random number drawing and then send whoever the winner is, I'll send their username to Jessica, who is the designer behind Snickerdoodle Knits, and she will send the winner a copy of the Hope Shawl pattern. Of course, you guys can definitely, I do encourage you to go check out the collection that the Hope Shawl is a part of. It's called the Guiding Principles Collection, and just the idea behind it, I really appreciate. I think it's 4 designs, and each one of them has a principle or a thought that she was inspired by to create the particular shawls. So definitely go check her out and take a look at those designs. So that's everything for admin. I will go ahead and jump into the yarny stuff. So we have a finished object. I'm super excited about it, and I might wear these to work tomorrow because I can't have anything new. I have finished my Christmas in Whoville socks, and they kind of look like they match. They don't. I lined them up, or I started them so that their stripe sequence is just a little bit offset, so they look like twins, but they're not. And then you can't really, you can kind of tell in this lighting, but this cuff is red and this cuff is pink. This heel is red and this heel is pink. Originally, the plan was to have matching cuffs and heels, so both pink and both red. But then I lost my pink yarn. I still have no idea where this pink mini went to. It just abandoned me in the middle of this project. How rude. So this pink is actually leftovers from what's that color? It's a Malabrigo sock yarn, and it's called Light of Love, I think. The red was one that I dyed myself. The stripe is called Christmas in Whoville, and it's by Mint Rain Yarns. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Mint Rain hand-dyed yarns. That's what it looks like. And yeah, so when I first started this, I told you guys that this pink, this is the original pink that's gone missing. I told you guys that this was a mini from Legacy Fiber Arts. That was not true. I found the mini from Legacy Fiber Arts. It's still in my mini box. This mini was another mini skein that I got. I think I got this one in one of my advents. I think it was in the Wishes advent. But needless, I mean, it's not. It's not the Legacy Fiber Art one that I thought it was. But I mean, they pretty much, I don't know, you can tell that they're slightly different, but pink is pink, right? And nobody's going to be looking at them that closely. So there's that. There's my finished socks. I really, really enjoyed knitting on them. I didn't feel like they went particularly fast. One thing that people always say is how self-striping yarn feels like it just knits itself. These didn't do that. And that's probably because I was knitting them during like the first few days of the new job. So there was a lot of stress knitting in there. But I'm so glad that I had these to work on. And yeah, so that's my first and only finished object for this episode. The next project that before I get into the next project, because somebody always asks, the way that I do my socks, I knit them on 2.25 millimeter knitting needles, and I use 64 stitches. That gives me a gauge of about 8 stitches per inch. And I prefer doing a short row heel instead of the heel flap and gusset. I like the way heel flap and gussets fit, but they're just so fiddly. I can just knock one of these out in one sitting. Can't do that with a heel flap and gusset. I do the short row wrap and turn heel as opposed to like a German short row. I've done a German short row heel before, but I just have this one memorized, so it's just easier. And then I do a rounded toe. This particular rounded toe is one that I have tweaked that I like personally. Yeah, so somebody always asks me, how do you knit your socks? 2.25 millimeter needle, 64 stitches, short row wrap and turn heel, rounded toe. Now, on to my next, this is work in progress, but this is a hoe. It is a half object if you don't speak the lingo. This, I finished the Christmas in Whoville socks on last Wednesday night. And Thursday morning or Thursday during the day, I cast on another pair of socks. And this is my first sock. This sock is, it's made from Patton's Croy sock yarn in the gray marl colorway. So this is the yarn. Just got it at Joann's. And it's classed as like a super fine, just regular sock yarn weight, but Patton's Croy is a little bit thicker. It's a heavier fingering weight than like the typical sock yarn you would find. So with this, I did, here are the needles right here. What is this? Lord, I can't see that. Okay. I did this sock on a 2.75 millimeter needle, and I used 60 stitches, right? Yeah, I used 60 stitches. So that accommodates for the different weight of yarn. Same thing, short row wrap and turn heel, rounded toe, plain and simple. I decided that since my new job is like an office setting, I should probably have some sensible colored socks. Whereas I have absolutely no problem wearing like socks like this to work. And it kind of makes me laugh because, you know, I'll go to work, I'll have like a nice blouse on, some nice slacks, some, you know, black flats and orange and green, yellow, purple striped socks. I mean, that's me. Just business and a little party. But anyway, I decided that I probably should have, you know, some like sensible colored socks. So that's where these came in. And y'all, this was so boring. However, it knit up super fast. Like I said, I started this on Thursday and I finished the Kitchener like a couple hours ago. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5 days for one sock. Not bad. So I'm going to cast the other one on probably when I finish filming this, so that I'll have this ready to go for meeting knitting, lunchtime knitting, waiting for the shuttle knitting, riding the shuttle knitting, you know. But yeah, I have some like forest green yarn and some burgundy yarn that I want to make some regular people socks out of. But I definitely want to do something like a texture on them or something like that, just so that it's not so boring. This is how much yarn I had left out of the whole ball. I haven't weighed it, but I mean, it's a good size, like little mini. Probably like, I don't know, a couple grams. But thumbs up on that. My next work in progress, I just started last night. It's actually going to connect us into maker plans. So let me show you that work in progress. It is a crochet project, and it is the Treasure Island Shawl by Hannah Siegmund, who is also more widely known as the Cozy Cottage Crochet. So let me show you. This is what I have so far. Yeah, you can see it better like that. So it is a triangular shawl that has these lace like bands going through it. It's a very intuitive pattern. Like looking back on it, on what I've done, I can tell it was a very intuitive pattern. However, when I was actually crocheting it, mind you, I have been crocheting since the 7th grade. And I am currently 33 years old. I don't know how long that is, but that's a long time. So I shouldn't have had problems with this. But your girl did. And I blame it on the fact that my allergies flared up yesterday. I took a Benadryl and then I decided to crochet like from a pattern. Don't do that. Just don't. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. I need to send Hannah a message. I don't understand. I need help. And then I was just like, Kalisha, you're not even reading it. So, needless to say, I did not send Hannah a message because I was just not reading the pattern. I'm really enjoying this. It is very intuitive despite my lack of reading comprehension late at night after Benadryl. I'm just sometimes a mess, y'all. But thank you for loving me anyway. So, that's the pattern. It's the Treasure Island Shawl. And then this is the yarn. This is a Zobber ball. Do I have the tag? Oh, here it is. It is Zobber ball. I'm just going to say Stark 6. That's probably not how that's pronounced, but I also don't speak German, so there's that. The colorway is color number 2136. And here's some more German for y'all. Der Lenz ist da. So, der Lenz ist da. I Googled to try to figure out what that meant, and evidently it means the spring is here, which I can see. I can see that. It's blues and greens, like different shades of blues and greens, and I really, really like it. I got this yarn from Lily, who is on here as Ladybug Lily, and she has the Ladybug Laboratory podcast. Is that what it's called? Ladybug Laboratory. I think that's what it's called. But she sent me a care package towards the end of last year, and this yarn was in it, and yeah, makes my little Pisces heart right here. I mean, y'all just get me with these colors. So this is a project that I have started from my 2020 Make 9. So that is going to take us over into maker plans. So let's talk about what my Make 9 is. So last year, my Make 9 was, I called it my Black Fibers, Black Threads Make 9. Now, I used to have a segment called Black Fibers, Black Threads, where I would highlight a fiber artist of color and talk about what they're doing, you know, different things like that, just to bring awareness to the fact that we're out here and kind of like shine light and signal boost different people. I haven't done a Black Fibers, Black Threads segment in a while, just because those segments take a lot of time and research, because I want to find people that aren't already, you know, blown up. Like, a lot of people were telling me, oh, you know, you should do a segment on Jonah of Jonah's Hands. And that, like, he would be a good person to highlight. However, he's already well known. Like, people already know he's out here. And if for some reason you don't know who Jonah's Hands is, he is, I want to say he's like 9 or 11. Like, he's young. And like really big, prolific crocheter, doing a whole lot of like good work, writing books, everything, like doing big things for such a young kid, right? But because he's kind of like, he's done TV interviews on all of these different shows, so I'm like, I'm not really introducing you guys to him, right? And that's something that I really wanted to focus on with Black Fibers, Black Threads, was to find voices and creators that aren't out in like the big, that aren't so well known, you know what I mean? So it does take a lot of like looking and researching to find people who are doing their thing over here, like on the sidelines, and really introduce them, or do my best to introduce them, right? So for Black Fibers, Black Threads Make 9 last year, I had 9 patterns that I wanted to make. Each one was by a different maker of color, and specifically a black maker of color. And to me, a black maker of color would be someone of African heritage, African American, Afro-Caribbean, Afro-British, what have you. And I went and I created my Make 9 list based on these different designers I was finding. And I did 8 of my 9 projects. The only one that I didn't get to do, or I didn't do, was the Spiny Socks by Fatima Hines. And I still want to make those. I ran out of steam at the end of the year, but those are definitely going to get made at some point this year. But my theme for this year's Make 9, and side note, originally I wasn't going to do a Make 9 for this year, but then this idea came to my mind and I was like, oh, I have to do it. So this year, my Make 9 is called 9, if I could speak. This year, my Make 9 is called 9 Little Words. And I got the idea once I was thinking about the Hope Shawl by Snickerdoodle Knits. And how I love the idea of creating a thing with a specific word or emotion or feeling or inspiration behind it. And whenever you pick up that thing, you always think about the word that has been connected with it. So I wanted 9 ideas or 9 projects that I could attach a word or a thought to, that as I'm going through this year and I'm working on these different projects, I am meditating on those words, right? So the Treasure Island shawl, the word that I attached to it is value. And while I'm making it, I want to think about the things of value that I bring into different areas or different environments that I'm in. What is the value of a Kalisha, right? I also want to think of things that I find valuable. What are the things that I find value in, and find ways to incorporate more of those things into my life, so that in a way it allows me to be able to focus more on things of value and not just random stuff. You know what I mean? So that's the thing that I'm meditating, and that's the concept that I'm meditating on whilst making the Treasure Island shawl. So this is my 9 little words, my 9 little words list. And this is my new notebook. I have to decorate the front. I don't know what I'm going to put on the front yet. But as you can see, I made a little chart, and we've got the inspiration word, right? Yeah. The theme word, the pattern, the pattern name, the designer, and then the yarn that I want to use. I'm trying to use yarn from my stash as much as possible in these projects. There are a couple that I'm not sure that I'll be able to use stash yarn for because they're bigger projects. But as much as possible, I want to use the yarn that I already have, because I do have a bit of yarn. And a lot of I need to figure out a storage solution where I can have all of my yarn visible, because I am totally an out of sight, out of mind kind of person. If I can't see it, it doesn't exist. Obviously, I don't have that kind of yarn. So I need to rework my storage. Guys, I thought that my iPad deleted the file, and it didn't. I'm so excited right now. You got a slightly different angle because now my iPad has to be plugged in. I don't know why I thought that I could just record a podcast without it being plugged in, because my battery's doing crazy things. It says it's at 100%, but then it dies in like 30 minutes. It's fine. Ma'am, I need my hands. I need my hands more than you need my hands, okay? Okay. You can stay right here, okay? Look at your little skinny neck. Alright, so I was talking about my 9 little words make 9. And, yeah, saying that I was going to try to use stash yarn as much as I can. But there's like one, maybe 2 projects that require more yarn than I think I have in my stash. So I'll have to fiddle around with that, like make it work a little bit. So what projects or what patterns do I have on my Make 9? Do y'all see how she treats me? He's so demanding. Anyway, so the first project I have, I'm going to give you the word. No, I'm going to give you the pattern name and designer, and then my gosh. Can you sit still? No. I'm going to give you the You're about to get kicked out of the whole room. I'm about to put you out of this whole side of the house. Go away. Go on. Go on. That dog, I tell you, that dog. Okay, so I'm going to read the pattern name and designer and then the theme word that goes with it, and also put in a picture of it so you guys can see what it looks like. First, we have the Ritual Shawl by Marceline Smith, and that one I'm attaching the word persist to. Persist is actually my word of the year for this year, and it's just, I want to have that mindset to keep persisting and persevering through the different changes that are going to come up this year with being in a new job, being in a new space, just switching up pretty much everything. Just persist, girl. The next is the Radiate Shawl by Stephen West, and obviously that that theme word is radiate, and radiate was my word of the year last year and the year before that, and I really enjoyed having that in my mind, like in the back of my mind, with the different things that I was doing and the different ways that I was relating to the world around me, wanting to radiate that positivity out. The next is the Hope Shawl by Snickerdoodle Knits, and that one's theme word is hope. There's nothing that needs to be said about wanting to be more hopeful. Next we have the Garden State Hat by Shanel Wu, and that word I've attached to it is growth, or grow. And I picked grow for that one because for some reason whenever I look at that pattern, I always see like vines. It's got a lace panel on it, and I always have, you know, in my mind thought that they were like trailing vines, probably because they did the design in green, but whatever. So that pattern is going to remind me to grow. Then we have the Treasure Island Shawl by Hannah Siegmund, which is value. I told you guys about that already. Next is Imani by Tamy Gore, and it's a shawl pattern. I have a lot of shawls on my Make 9 list. Seems like I'm a shawl person, but that's fine. I enjoy shawls. I enjoy being cozy. But the theme word for Imani is faith, which that's what the word Imani means, is faith. But I put faith/trust. Next we have Jimi Cricket, which is a cardigan by Jimenez Joseph, and that one I am attaching the word kindness, and I'm attaching kindness to it because it's called Jimi Cricket, which reminds me of Jiminy Cricket, who was the cricket in Pinocchio, and he always seemed to have kind of a like kind, friendly vibe to him. So kindness. Then I have the Celestarium by Audrey Nicklin, and that word is dream. And Silasterium is a pie shawl that is essentially a star map of the northern sky. Y'all already know how geeked out I get about stars. So I am starting that shawl. I've only seen one other person make that shawl, and I think she finished it, but it took her multiple years. And I'm not gonna lie, I am really scared of this, but we gonna do it. We're gonna make this shawl. And actually, Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet is running a make-along called the Mission Impossible Now, I think it is. And basically it's like, if you think that this project is insurmountably difficult and you think that this is something that you can't do, use this make-along as the inspiration to tackle it and try to overcome it. So Listerium is going to be my project for that. There's like 10 pages of charts. Just going to leave that one right there. The theme word to that is dream. And I am sure enough dreaming big with the idea of making this piece. And the last project for my Make 9 is the Kenyisa cardigan. Yeah, Kenyisa cardigan by Noma and Glovu. And that word, the word that I'm attaching to that one is light. And I remember when she released this pattern, she was saying that the word Kenyisa meant light. And it's actually something that I think about a lot, is brightening the corner where I am, and being a light in the space that I'm in. So those are my projects for my Make 9 2020, my 9 little words. We'll see what happens. I'm really excited about all of them. I think that I chose well. And yeah, I think the difference that I'm going to do with this one, last year I was really gung-ho about, all right, cast this on at the beginning of, in January and work on it and get it done, and then cast the next one on, we got to check off this list. I am not going to be that tight-reined on these this year, because I know a lot of them are really big projects, and I just want to be more relaxed with all of it and give myself the time and the space to actually meditate on the different words that I'm attaching to these projects and not just power through making them. So I guess now we'll go into stash positions, and my stash positions this week are stinking adorable. Where do I want to start? Okay, so first, last week, Thursday, when I was driving home, I passed by, we have like a little park in my town, and there were all of these lights and tents and stuff over there, and I was like, oh, it was the first Thursday, so normally on first Thursdays, they have, what do they have? Food trucks. They have like the food trucks get together and you can go over there and eat from the food truck. It's like this little thing that happens once a month. So I thought that was it, but then it looked more involved. So as I get closer, I noticed that there were tents and like people selling stuff. So I pulled over and went over there, and turns out my town has decided to have a farmer's market on Thursday nights. And I'm really excited about that because most of the farmers markets in the area are on Saturdays. And of course, I'm in church on Saturday, so I always miss these farmers markets. So having one on Thursday is really cool. So I walked around, I was listening to some music, knitting on my gray sock, and I passed by this booth. This is Clockwork Alley, and this is their card, and I got these earrings. So as you can probably tell, they don't exactly match. Like this one has more green in it, and they don't match because it's actually one earring from two different sets. So I was looking at her stuff, and when I saw these, I was like, oh my goodness, I want them, but I only really want one of each because I want to use them as progress keepers, right, and stitch markers. So I go up to the owner, and I was like, okay, I have a strange request. And I told her, I said, I'm a knitter, and I held up my sock, which had like a progress keeper on it. And I said, the earring backs that you've used for your earrings are perfect for if I wanted to use them for a stitch marker or a progress keeper on knitting or crochet. And she goes, oh, I've heard of that. It's not weird at all. And I was like, okay, good. And then I said, okay, so my next question is, can I have one of each of these? And I said, I understand that, you know, you would have a mismatched set, so it's okay if you say no. Like, I got halfway into that. That was what I was planning to say. I understand that you would have a mismatched set. And she goes, oh yeah, you can have one of each. And she took them off and put the one of each in a bag for me. And I thought that was really, really awesome of her. But she does steampunk and Victorian-esque jewelry. And she had some other ones that I really liked. There was a bunch of like spacey kind of motifs. There were some stars, suns, one that had like a sun and a moon together, a bunch of different galaxy prints like these. And then she had Disney stuff and just kind of the steampunk gears and stuff like that. But yeah, she's on Etsy as clockworkalley.etsy.com. So I'll put a link down below. But I was really impressed with how accommodating she was with me basically asking to mess up 2 sets of her earrings. So yeah, go check her out. Clockwork Alley. And there are the earrings. And they're really, really nice. And I could definitely wear these as earrings if I wanted to. But yeah, so that's my first stashquisition, and I have been keeping them on the card so that I would remember to show them to you guys. Now, the next stashquisition, it's a set of 2. Well, not a set. They're 2 different charms that I bought from the same maker on different occasions over the last couple weeks. But they are from Whitney Marie, and she has a website. It's Whitney Marie Anderson. Yeah, Whitney Marie Anderson. I'll put a link down below. But she makes clay charms, like the polymer clay charms. And I do have I have a collection. They're a little family, okay? And the first one I bought this time is this little girl. And if you follow me on Instagram, you would have already seen her because when I got her, I took a picture with my locks up in a bun, so we matched. And she is too stinking cute. Look at her little self. And then, like a couple days later, Whitney put up on her Instagram that she was making these little fairies with color changing hair. I mean, just take all of my dollars. But I had been watching her stories and saw how she was processing through making this color changing clay. And it changes color when you bring it in sunlight. And so I stalked her website and was able to get one of her color changing fairies. So this is what she looks like. And her hair changes yellow. when you put her in direct sunlight. So I'll put in a picture of her hair after it's changed color. But these little darlings are so cute. So I already have two, or I had two in my collection before. These are the other two that I have of hers. Who did I get first? I got this one first. Ooh. I got this one first. And then I got this little girl. And she's got rainbow locks. This girl has like Rasta locks. And then this one and this one. So like I said, I have a little family. I have a little family of clay girls. And every time she puts anything up on her Instagram or shows any of the things that she's working on, I just really appreciate the work that she puts into them, because like it's so cool to be able to see yourself in these things. Like I put them back on here now. I can't get them off. Come on, hands. So these two I specifically bought because they looked like me. You know, like we're the same color, which is so cool. And then we have the same hairstyles, and like when I got this one, my hair was short. Now I don't have color, well, I don't have these colors hair. I have my mermaid lock, which is still hanging out with me, but it's really cool. It's a really cool thing to be able to, purchase something that really looks like you and feel represented by like that maker or that product. It's really cool. And she was saying how she's practicing doing different black hairstyles, which I was like, man, if I could do my real hair in these hairstyles that she's able to sculpt, I would have been so fancy. But yeah. Definitely check out her website. I believe she still has some available, but if you don't follow her and you like little stitch markers, and she does a bunch of different skin tones, so like from dark to light, a bunch of different skin tones. So thumbs up to Miss Whitney. And then I think this is the last. Yes, this is the last stash acquisition that I have to show you. And then I'm going to tell you about a pattern that I bought. So, I'm going to open this carefully. I had been stalking, legitimately stalking, Tao of Nerdbirdmakery's website, because she designed, or she created this this line of images. They're called the Society of Arts and Craftivism, and she had 6 images, and each one of those was to represent a creator, right? And when she first started putting these images on her Instagram, it was just so amazing just to see the different faces of people that create. Because a lot of times whenever, you know, somebody says like, oh, you know, it's a knitter or it's a crocheter or that person sews or something like that, you don't, like the initial image that is portrayed is not a very diverse one. So when she started putting out these images, I was just like, oh my gosh. So she put them on some fabric, which I bought a yard of the fabric, and I have been hoarding it like, you know, a dragon hoards gold. It's fine. And I ordered, I think she sent me the knitter sticker when I ordered the fabric. So this is the knitter, and I just love all of them so much. I can't help it. Like, I have no other words. But this is the knitter. And then you have the crocheter, the stitcher, the sewist, the spinner, and the maker. So she had these for sale. I think she was at Indie Untangled this year at Rhinebeck, and she had them for sale there. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you gonna have these on your website? Please say yes. Please say yes. I need these in my life. And she was like, yeah, they're gonna be on the website. And so from October to, I think they went up on her website in December, I was just randomly checking. Just, are they there yet? Are they there yet? Are they there yet? And when I found that they were there, I ordered a pair, or ordered a set, and now I have no idea what I want to stick them on, because I feel like nothing I could stick these on is going to be worthy of the amount of awesome that they have. Like, I can't stick them on the front of my new notebook, because eventually I'm going to finish that notebook and not need to carry it around anymore. Like, I need to put them on something that they can permanently stay on, so that I can indulge in their awesomeness forever. What that thing is, not sure yet. So for now, they're going to stay in that bag. I might put them on a bulletin board, but I love them so much. So, Sarah Schira of Imagine Landscapes released her Gnome Mystery Knit Along pattern, and I bought it. And I did her Mystery Knit Along pattern last year, which ended up being Grinchy Nelly. And I'll put in a picture of Grinchy Nelly here. She was missing for a while. I don't know where she went. She was out here like causing havoc at Christmas or something, but she was missing. But she has since returned to the Grinch shelf, and she's hanging out with her friends now. But I'll put in a picture of Grinchy Nelly. And this year's Gnome Mystery Cow his name is Nemo. And let me see if I can read to you what he's all about. Nemo loves ice skating on outdoor rinks, hot chocolate with a little rum in it afterwards, and the fact that early twilight means he gets to light candles at supper. Oh man, Tootie, no! So many interruptions. Okay, so you guys heard the description of Nemo. So I went through my minis / leftovers and I pulled out these. Now this is not enough, but I do have some more of this yarn over in my drawer. And this is, I think, the color scheme that I'm going to go for. At first, I was going to do something like grays and blues and whites, because it's kind of a winter theme gnome, from what I'm understanding from the description. But then I was thinking, well, it says he likes to ice skate and hot chocolate and lighting candles. So then I was like, let me do something that's more warm and cozy. So I think this is going to be my Nemo the Gnome. Yeah, there is a third color, or a fourth color, which I think I'm going to do white for the beard. It's either going to be white, or this was sitting next to it, and I think I might do this one as the beard. I'm not sure. So I'm going to throw all of these in because I don't know how the colors are going to interact with each other. So fingers crossed I picked the right color as like the right color. You know what I mean? Like hopefully that color 1, I choose the proper color for that, for color 2, for color 3, and color 4. So, yeah, when does the first clue come out for that? The first clue comes out on February 12th. So it's not going to start for like another couple weeks. But yeah. Also, this gnome has color work in it, like stranded color work. And that would be my 3rd color work project. So, kind of excited. I think I am going to get some DPNs because I did the other gnome on Magic Loop and that got real fiddly real fast. So, I think I'm going to do this one on DPNs and see how I like that. Now, that is everything for Stash Acquisitions. And also everything for Yarny business. So let's talk about life and whatnot. I got new glasses. I really like them. I got them from Zinni. Zinni, I think it's just zinni.com to be honest. And these particular ones, I got the free lenses. So when you go on Zinni, you put your prescription in, and based on how strong your prescription is, they recommend which type of lens you should get. And I pretty much have a very strong prescription. My eyes are terrible. But they always suggest like the $30 lenses. They're like, oh, it'll be thinner for you and like lighter weight and better because your prescription is so strong. So this time I decided to try the free lenses, which are just like the regular lens, whatever, and to see how thick my glasses would be regularly. And it's really not even that big a deal. Like it's really not that big a difference. So I feel like I'm about to have all of the crazy glasses. And I'm really excited about that. So I think the frames for these were like $7. And then the lenses were free because I got the regular lenses, and then shipping. So I probably got these for, if they were $7, I think shipping was like between $5 and $7. So please. But then I also got these glasses. Got some red ones. And this is like a throwback to my childhood because one of my first pairs of glasses that I ever had they were probably about this big, but they were red. And I loved those glasses so much. And I broke them by doing a cartwheel and landing on my face. That happened. But I'm super excited about my new glasses. And also excited about cheap glasses in the future. I wanted to say a quick thank you to everybody who gave me encouragement and congratulations on the new job when I was talking about it last week. Reading all of those comments has been so like uplifting for me, and it just reinforces the fact that I have you guys out here cheering for me, and it feels so good. It feels so good. And speaking of people who are out here cheering for me and friends from the internet, I have met 2 friends from the internet in this past week and a half, or since recording last episode. So the first person that I met, her name is Sherry, and she's known as Auntie C. And Auntie C she's one of I told my mom, she's like an OG internet friend. Like, back in, when did I start that blog? Probably 2008, 2009. I started a blog called Golden 24. And it was just, the blog that I would just write about, I would write about things that I was going through, you know, just regular blog journal kind of thing. And she started following my blog, and we would talk back and forth, kind of, you know, became friends that way. She had a blog as well, so I would read her blog and comment, and, you know, like that before Instagram. So then when Instagram happened, we managed to find each other on Instagram and have been following each other for years. So she was down here in Orlando last week, I think, and we were able to meet up for dinner, and it was so nice. I told her the thing that stood out the most to me was that when we met up and started talking, I didn't feel anxious at all. And I felt absolutely, you know, calm and okay, which for me is not how meeting somebody normally goes. I'm normally an anxious mess with lots of nervous sweat happening. But meeting her was just like regular, you know? And we talked for so long and just laughed and cried and laughed some more. It was just awesome. It was delightful. I'm so glad I got to meet her. And I'm so glad that the internet is a thing, because it gives us a way to connect with people that we would never have had the opportunity to connect with before. And yeah, so I don't know if she watches many YouTube videos, but if you're watching this, hi Sherry. Hope you are enjoying all that snow at home. But she gave me this ball of yarn. She said she's made socks from this before, and it's really, really good. This is Expression Fiber Arts in the colorway Alaskan Nights. And, you know, again, with the watery blues and greens. So this is, does it tell the blend? No, it just says Resilient Superwash Merino Sock, 400 yards. Hand or machine wash. Yes, guys, I machine wash my socks. I do. So I'm thinking about casting these on in February during Pisces season, because if this don't say Pisces, I don't know what does. So yes, I will insert a picture of me and Auntie C. And then this past Friday, was it Friday? Yeah, Friday, I met up with Donna, who is on YouTube as Sunshine LeClaire. She was down here in Florida as well, visiting. Well, not visiting, she's on vacation. Well, visiting Florida on vacation. But she reached out to me saying that she was in town and to see if I would like to meet up with her. And luckily I was able to get off work a little bit early and go hang out. So we went to, we met up in Old Town Kissimmee. And Old Town is like, it's kind of like a little tourist spot. It's in the midst of all of these little, you know, resorts and hotels and stuff in Kissimmee. And there's like rides there, and we saw a roller coaster, you know, kind of things like that. And then there's a bunch of shops and restaurants and stuff just in this one little area that you can just walk around. And so we hung out there. And it was also really cool just to hang out, talk with somebody who is also a crafter, a maker. She does a lot of crochet, and she also does journaling. and watercoloring. And I was telling her how I wanted to get back into watercoloring, but just haven't done it. And she was basically like, do it. So we had a good time. It was really fun. We spent a lot of time in this one shop called, I forget what it's called, but I pressed a penny there. I have all of my pressed penny books out because I was organizing my stash. It was called Black Market Minerals. So it was really cool hanging out with Donna. We also went by this magic shop, and unfortunately they're not a magic shop anymore. They're just a magic show. But the guy asked me if I'd ever seen a magic show. Like, he asked us if we'd ever seen magic show before. And Donna had, but I hadn't. And so I said, no, I've never seen a magic show. And he was like, what? You've never seen a magic show? I know. So he's like, do you want a sneak peek? Yes, I do. So we walked in, and he kind of told us about the show, you know, what you can expect, how it's done. They have a bunch of different rooms. You go from room to room, and there's like a small show in each room. And then he was like, okay, I want to show you something cool. And he, like, you know, like the whole time he was like playing with cards and stuff, which I think is really cool. I would love to know how to like do card tricks. But so he's playing with these cards, and he puts them down. He's like, all right, I want to show you something cool. He like stretches out like this. He's like pulling his sleeves. And I stepped back. And he was like, I told you it's gonna be something cool, you know, like, you're stepping back. I was like, I mean, your definition of cool and my definition of cool might be different, you know, so I would just not want to be in striking distance if it's the same to you. So then he was like, you know, talking about the trick or whatever, and he, you know, was like pulling up his sleeves, like, I've got nothing up my sleeve, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm actually going to use your sleeve. And then he like touched my sleeve, and in my head, I'm like, did this dude put something in my sleeve when I wasn't looking? Oh my gosh. And I wanted to like look at my sleeve to be like, did he put something in there? But then I didn't want to be like, so I'm just like watching him, whatever. And then he reached over and like took something from Donna's sleeve. And when he went to like take something from her sleeve, she was like, I'm Canadian. And I don't know why that was so funny to me, but it was just like, my Canadian sleeve is not going to help with your magic trick. So then he like, you know, did whatever it was he was doing, and like opened his hand, and there was a coin in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And I was really upset because I thought I was paying attention. I thought I was going to be able to see the trick, and I missed it. And so, you know, he gave me the card and was telling us when the magic shows happen. So I kind of want to go back for like my birthday or some random Sunday. But yeah, so when we left the magic shop show, Donna was like, I was watching and I missed it. I was like, I was watching too. Like, I thought I was paying attention. I was like in my head saying, okay, Kalisha, you gotta watch his hands. You gotta watch his hands. Bro, I still missed it. Son. But yeah, it was very fascinating, and I really enjoyed it, and I definitely want to go back. But yeah, after that we sat down and had a really, really good long conversation. And that's something that I really appreciate. Like, whenever I can meet somebody new and we can have a proper conversation that's actually has depth to it, and it's not just like, you know, frivolous. But it was a really, really good afternoon / evening hanging out. Hi guys. I just ended the podcast and I looked down and realized I forgot to show you these little goodies that I picked up when I was hanging out with Donna. So I got this from the store that we spent all that time in. Black Market Minerals, I think it was called. Was it called Black Market Minerals? Am I lying? Yeah. Black Market Minerals. This is malachite. And malachite is supposed to be good for like repelling negativity and also increasing creativity. So when we read that, both of us were like, so we're gonna get some malachite today. So we each got a little malachite stone. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but maybe I'll just put it in with all of my stitch markers and just keep it with me, because it is very pleasant in the hand. It's nice and smooth. And then she gifted me this little pendant. It's a pendant. Oh, you can't see that. There you go. It's a pendant, and it's got this beautiful green flower in it. It's like glass. So this is really pretty. I don't know what I'm going to put it on, but it's just really, really pretty. Maybe I'll put it on a little, like a short loop of like leather or something, and hang it with all of my, like hang it on my bulletin board. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. So I forgot to show those earlier when I was talking about hanging out with Donna, but there they are. And the last big thing that has happened this week in Life and Whatnot was Sunday, Lamar and I hung out in, like, we were in Daytona Beach. I had never been to Daytona Beach, so we went and walked along the beach. We went through the boardwalk. I pressed some pennies, and we found this shop. I forget what it's called. I think I have a card. Is it in my phone? Yes. Rocket Fizz. And it's the Rocket Fizz Soda Pop and Candy Shop. And it's in Daytona Beach. And they basically have all of the types of sodas you could imagine, plus all of the ones you probably shouldn't imagine. You probably shouldn't. Like, for instance, there was mustard soda and coffee soda and ones that weren't so unfortunate, red velvet cake soda, cherry, what was it, cherries and cream soda, so that one didn't sound too bad. There was also dirt soda and cinnamon soda and cucumber. So when Lamar and I were in there, we're just kind of like laughing at the different flavors that we were seeing, and he was like, oh man, we should have like a get together of our friends and have kind of one of those like guess the flavor games. And so then of course that then snowballed into, we need to have a game night. And then, you know, because when me and Lamar start like coming up with these ideas, they start this big and then they end up this big. And but they're always like really fun ideas. So we ended up buying 8 different flavors of soda. And we tried to do, I told him that he should do like 4 reasonable flavors and 4 why would you do this flavors. So I think we have more reasonable flavors than why would you do this flavors, but still, I'm really excited to try this. this could end badly. We're definitely going to have like regular ginger ale to wash out your mouth with some of these flavors. But it was really cool. So we just basically spent the whole day walking around, hanging out together, and it was really good to be able to do that, because when I was working at the studio, you know, I'd be at work until 7 or 8 at night, and he would have basketball or volleyball practice at school, so we wouldn't get to really spend a lot of time together. And then I was working on Sundays, so he'd be home, but I'd be at work. And one of the things that I'm really, really grateful with this new job is that it's going to give me the opportunity to spend more time with him and with my family. So that's everything, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for being a part of my universe. Leave a comment down below of something positive or a bright spot that happened to you. And one thing I noticed last episode, there were a couple of people who said that they were having a hard time thinking of a bright spot. So if you're having a hard time thinking of a bright spot, read the comments of other people's bright spots and celebrate with them. Because that's what I want it to be. Like, I want the comment section to be a place where you can go and see that good things are happening. And I know that sometimes with me personally, if I'm in like a crummy space or I'm in a negative headspace, sometimes it doesn't feel good to see good things happen to other people. I get jealous. But at the same time, it's good to remind myself that good things are happening. Because sometimes my mind says, oh, nothing good is ever happening. This world is trash. But when I can go to, I know that there's a space that I can go to and I can see these good things that are happening in the world around me. It doesn't bring me out of the negative headspace I'm in, but it fights that that thought that nothing good is ever going to happen. So yeah, leave comments of good things that have happened to you, that have happened around you, and not just, like, don't leave them just for yourself, but leave them for other people as well. Leave them for other people to read. Leave them so that you can be a light. You know what I mean? So, thanks for being part of my universe. I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye, friends.